Hey, it's Dr. Lauren Noel here of Dr. Low Radio, and I wanted to just take a quick second to share with you some of my favorite highlights from my last podcast on Tuesday. I interviewed Mark Sisson from Primal Blueprint and also Mark's Daily Apple as well, hugely popular blog. And it was such a joy to have him because I consider Mark basically like the paleo godfather. He's amazing. He's a wealth of knowledge and he's done so much for the whole nutrition community and just helping so many people around the world. So we had him on. He was talking about his new certification course, which is the Primal Blueprint Expert Certification. So you can check that out online if you're interested in learning more about that. And also, really, I think the main things I got out of it was just really being inspired about how Mark lives, just his daily life. I'm really fascinated with the way that high performers operate, what they do throughout the day, how they start their day, just like the little details that make a huge difference. Because I'm a busy person and I want to know how I can really maximize what I'm doing with not as much effort. So Mark is a master of that. One of the things that really stood out that I was so amazed by is how Mark takes so many breaks throughout the day and he plays a lot. Like during the middle of the day, he'll go and play, he'll do stand-up paddleboarding, or he'll go and play frisbee. He'll go and hang out by the pool, and then he goes back to work. And I just thought that was really amazing, just those little breaks throughout the day of being really productive and then taking a break, which is very different from how a lot of us operate, which is basically being half focused all day, being distracted by all these different things, looking at Facebook, looking at Twitter, looking at Instagram, and then at the end of the day going, what did I get done? And that can be really stressful because then you feel like you still have so much to do. So I think that's a great takeaway for a lot of us, is being really, really focused when we're in it, and then taking those breaks, going and charging our batteries and relaxing, and then getting back to the grind. One of the other things I really loved about it was one of the things that Mark was saying is that he doesn't actually eat breakfast. He doesn't eat until maybe at the earliest, maybe 10 or 11, but even like 1 o'clock, he'll actually have breakfast for the first time, which for him, that works. Now that might not work for everyone, but it's really about, my takeaway with that is just knowing to listen to your body, trusting your intuition. I think in the paleo community, it can get pretty dogmatic, where it's like, all these things are wrong, you have to eat this way, beans are awful, dairy is awful, grains are the devil, what does Rob Wolf say, that gluten is the spawn of Satan, which I kind of agree with, but some of these other foods, maybe they're okay for some people. So Mark has dairy, and he even said he drinks wine sometimes. He's taking a break right now, but would drink a glass or two at night, and just knowing what actually works for you. Now I know for myself, I have to have breakfast every morning, because if I don't, my whole day is just very different. But it's having that intuition that your body best. If there's something doesn't work for you, then don't eat it. If maybe garbanzo beans you do okay with, great. I know myself, I've started incorporating quinoa and rice into my diet, and I feel glorious. So it's just knowing like what works for you. The last thing that I really took away from it was one thing that Mark does is he trains a lot. He's very active, and one of the things that can happen with athletes especially is you can have very high free radicals in your body, because you have free radicals normally just from normal normal metabolism. You do create free radicals in your body, but especially if you're really, really active and you're working out, maybe CrossFitters, you're doing endurance training, you're going to have a higher level of free radical activity. So for you have to eat especially good. You have to really take care of yourself even more, because there's actually research that shows that overtraining can contribute to heart disease. So be really careful about that. It's really, really important stuff. I think those were my main things. Listen to the show if you do get a chance, though. I'm just amazed. Mark, he basically works standing up, and he even stands on a stone mat. He's amazing. So that's what I got for you guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. And next week, I'm going to have Jonathan Baylor on to talk about the calorie myth. I love Jonathan. I met him recently at a JJ Virgin event. Cracked me up for like 3 days straight, and he can dance his butt off. So it'll be a really fun show. So check that out, and all the other shows at drlowradio.com. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will check you guys next week. Bye.